As you've all probably heard by now, Angels All-Star Shohei Ohtani won't pitch again this season after suffering a UCL injury, and that's left the rest of his 2023 season and upcoming free agency in question. So let's bring in New York Post MLB insider Jon Heyman for some answers. Jon, I know you've been making your rounds on the networks this morning. Let's get straight into this breaking news, and thank you for joining us. He's been diagnosed with that same injury that led to Tommy John surgery back in 2018. So is there any update on his status and his availability for the rest of the season?
No, nothing official yet. He's going to go see doctors and see if he does need surgery again. It isn't a foregone conclusion that you need surgery with a tear. Often you do, however, and that would be bad news because then he would not be able to pitch most likely most, if not all, of next year, which certainly affects his free agency, but obviously still hit in game 2, even after the diagnosis between games. He is quite a gamer and just an all-time great competitor and baseball player.
Yeah, just the fact that he was still able to get out there and compete just goes to show you how his greatness. And things seem to go from bad to worse for the Angels. On top of the Ohtani news, the team announced that they were going to place Mike Trout back on the IL. Fangraphs gives LA now a 0.1% chance of making the playoffs. So what's the Angels' next move, and how much of an impact does the Ohtani injury affect what happens with Trout?
Yeah, I mean, they're 61 and 67. American League's tougher than National League. So, I think 0.1% is probably a good estimate. Unfortunately for them, I predicted them to be a World Series team at the beginning of the year. I thought they made the right move, going for it with Ohtani, making those moves at the deadline to get Cron and Grichuk and Giolito. And it has not worked out to this point. You wonder if Mike Trout maybe rushed it a bit to get back, to give the team a chance here with Ohtani to finally make the playoffs for the first time since Ohtani's been there, the first time since 2014. So you can question that. The fact he's back now on the IL again, so he's going to be out at least for a little while here, and probably no reason to rush back because, by the time he's getting close to being ready, that 0.1% may go down to 0, and, probably not worth it at that point. But, I give him credit for coming back with some pain and trying to give it a go, and just a very unfortunate day overall for the Angels.
So now that this team's postseason is in question, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Let's talk free agency. We can look ahead a little bit. Shohei was expected to make history, and my man was going to break the bank this winter during free agency. So how much does this injury impact not only his value, but how much he could potentially make during this free agency?
Yeah, I still see him making history. I still see him breaking the bank. I still see a record contract. He is one of a kind. It is amazing what he is able to do, even in the worst case scenario where he needs the Tommy John and is unable to pitch in 2024. You would think with a long contract, and all these contracts for superstars now are 10 years plus, that you would still get a lot of pitching out of Ohtani. I don't think we've seen him throw his last pitch at the major league level. And just looking at what Aaron Judge was offered last year, now he wanted to be a Yankee, came back for $360 million. It's a record, I get it, but in a sense it was a bargain because I do think he was offered over $400 million by the Padres. And San Francisco, let's face it, they were just getting started. So they're likely to have gone to $400 million too. We're talking about now Ohtani, who's probably a comparable offensive player to Judge. Now, obviously, Judge is a great right fielder as well, but Ohtani still will be a great pitcher at some point in this contract, even if he does miss 2024 with Tommy John surgery. He is, as I said, a one of a kind. He's an all-time great. He's in the Babe Ruth category. He is a marketing gem, and I do still see him making $500 million plus. I had said 3 months ago $600 million. I'm going to say this is going to affect him by tens of millions. I've seen people talk about hundreds of millions, and now he's only going to get $300 million because he's half a player now. Look, guys, teams take chances with greats, and certainly we saw Verlander when he was with Houston miss basically 2 seasons and still get a 2-year, $50 million deal, $25 million a year, which in those days, not that long ago, it's a lot of money. We saw DeGrom with all the questions surrounding him at age 35 get $185 million. Obviously, that's not working out to this point with Texas, but I think when you have greatness, teams are willing to take a chance, and he is a one-of-a-kind, a marketing gem, an incredible competitor. Still going to get over $500 million. I wouldn't bet my life on it, but I'm pretty certain that he will.
Man, all those numbers you just threw around, I'm wondering, why did I play football? I should have went and picked up a baseball bat. But yeah, someone's going to open up that checkbook to greatness. Jon Heyman, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.